My name is Ryan. I am a part of Masary Studios. I live in Boston, and this is our studio. We're a team of people. One of the things that I'm excited to share with you today as an artist is how a group of people make art together, and how that group of people can make art that we commonly call new media art, right? Things that are in, and I'll talk about what that is. That's a picture of me out here in the water in New Bedford, actually recording for the DAPMA project that we did. Apparently recording the sound of water. Anyway, the kind of work that we do is new media work. So that often means things that are technologically driven, that are unstable, you could say. You know, stable media would be like a bronze statue, a concrete bench, or something like that. And what we make is often things that are either performance, that could be short term, or that could be longer term, but that aren't necessarily perfectly fixed. Right? Like a painting or something like that. And part of what I'm excited to share with you today is about how a team of people makes things that is not necessarily fixed. And if that is meaningful to open your minds about what public art can be as you start to envision public art in this area, I hope that's meaningful. Pieces like this, that's a celebration of the solstice. This is something we'll actually come again this solstice in a cemetery, the Mount Auburn Cemetery in the Boston area. Tickets are on sale now. It's a 10-night experience leading up to the solstice that is a meditation on winter light. And at the darkest time of the year, ways to come together and explore what it means to be quiet, to meditate, to think about the year, and to cleanse yourself into the new year. That's an example of the kind of work that we do. This is another piece that is an interactive sound sculpture. It's a musical instrument that is played by moving location-aware cubes around. It's another example of a piece that we can tour and share, but that is not fixed, that can actually change. It's cool. It's cool. So this is another piece that we did in Boston at Boston's Fenway Park. This is kind of like an iconic beginning piece for us, where we turned the outfield wall of the Green Monster into a musical instrument and actually scored a whole hour of music and projected on it and created something called Waking the Monster that actually brought the Green Monster to life through a performance energy. Now there we go. That's a New Bedford piece right there, right? We created a piece that Lindsay and the folks at DAPMA commissioned our studio, Masary, to create. It was called Vessels, that brought in what we called like a media poem in honor of the fishing vessels of New Bedford. And it was something that played nightly over 6 weeks in the city. And it was an homage and an exploration of the fishing vessels of New Bedford as characters in the civic narrative. This is a piece called Rumble. This is one of the pieces I'd like to talk about. This is a piece in Cincinnati. Apparently we are rocking a Midwest, Ohio connection. And this is an example of a new media piece that was up for about a week. So that's also something I'm kind of entering into the public art discussion, is that public art projects are not necessarily like 10 years forever. A public art project can be 10 days. It can be a day. It can be performative. It can be short term. That's important and cool too. This piece was over a bridge that is about 1,000 feet long, and it had over 1,000 lighting instruments, and we created a sound score that was played back at a light festival that was synchronized with this lighting display. For the city, I think one of the things that comes into play is to see something that's iconic like this bridge, and to see it in a different way. And it was also something that, because it was a part of this festival, the bridge was closed, so people could walk across the bridge. And over 1 million people experienced this, viewing it from the banks of the river and also crossing the bridge in a format that hopefully evolved their sense of how they view that bridge in their city's story. It was a really fun project for us too. I got to go there and record the sound of the bridge, record the sound of the city, and then create a sound score that was of and by the city of Cincinnati that was told through this story. This is another piece that I'd like to share with you that's called Memory Diffusion. This piece called Memory Diffusion is an example of a new media piece that is interactive, but the point that I'd like to share with you is that it isn't interactive just in a moment. For an interactive piece, I think, to have value over a period of time, there's value in something evolving and growing. If you erect an artwork that's interactive and you immediately figure it out within a couple of minutes, you don't have a reason to revisit it or think about it again. It will recede into the landscape. But a piece like this is something that actually develops a memory. This piece has 3 cameras, and it watches things that happen in the space, and it records those things, and when it's reminded of something by seeing something similar again, it will play back its memory. So if I walk through that area with the cello case, and 2 weeks later someone else walks through with the cello case, it might remember that cello case shape and recall that in this environment. It's in a high school, in a performing arts high school. So the question to us was, how do we actually create a piece that has meaning over a year, over 4 years, or over a career of someone who works there, but that also has interactivity, in this case like a latent interactivity, rather than being kind of crack the code immediately. It's called memory diffusion, and my name's Ryan. Thank you very much.